Within the next half hour, Category 4 Hurricane Helene is expected to make landfall along Florida's coast. Thank you for joining us during this special edition of WUFT News. I'm Alex Land. Right now, Governor Ron DeSantis is preparing to address the state ahead of landfall. Let's listen in. All right, it looks like Governor DeSantis isn't ready to speak quite yet, but we'll check in later. Citrus County is already seeing storm impacts ahead of landfall. This video is from our DOT cams showing emergency services making their way through flooded streets. I'm joined now by UF forecaster Matthew Clark. Matthew, as Helene is about to make landfall, what can we expect to see?
It's actually making landfall right now. Let me work my way over to the green screen here as it's making landfall in the Big Bend regions in Dixie and Taylor County. The eye is now just moving on shore as a strong Category 4 storm with winds reaching up to 140 miles per hour, quickly moving out of our area, though reaching up into areas of North Georgia by Friday morning. Eye making its way onshore right now in Taylor County. Really strong hurricane force winds in this area, sustained hurricane force winds, crucial life or death situation over there. Extreme wind warning in effect for that area. This is sustained winds of 58 mile per hour gusts or more and tornado storm force gusts over a large spread area over several counties spanning from Cross City all the way over to Tallahassee as this eye is making its way onto land. Wind gusts right now as it's making its way onto land. For us over here, we're seeing gusts in the 50s, but as the further west you go, these gusts are going to pick up as the storm in the eye is starting to make its way further north onto land as we head into Friday morning. Because of its quick moving nature, those gusts are going to start to subside into the mid 20s, still under a tornado watch for that time. Most of our area and all of our state has pretty much seen those tropical storm force winds. It's going to span all the way up into Georgia. That's 39 mile per hour winds or greater. Those are also very strong winds. Power outage totals, 210,000 power outage totals in Pinellas County, and it kind of gets narrower as it gets up there, but we've seen 36,000 power outages here in Alachua County. A lot of downed trees going over power lines, a lot of power converters I've seen starting to blow up. Really difficult mess right now. Futurecast as it starts to move its way onto land, a couple residual showers, but the wind speeds are still going to be pretty consistent as we head into Friday morning. Still not really clear once this eye passes. Going to wait till like Friday afternoon. Looking in at live radar, that eye wall is really starting to ravage Perry and Taylor County. Eye is really starting to make its way on land as a strong Category 4 storm, life-threatening situation there in Perry. It's going to start to move its way further north. Here in Gainesville, still getting some outer rain bands, some strong hurricane gusts as well. Storm surge has really been the key issue with this storm today. In Tampa, I've seen up to 8 feet. It's taking over hotels on the beaches, taking over causeways spanning all the way from Key West up to Apalachicola. Zooming in on that Big Bend area because it's making landfall right here in Taylor County. Expecting up to 20 feet of storm surge in that area. Haven't seen much videos, but Cedar Key is pretty much underwater, seeing up to 10 feet. Rain is not too big of an issue for Helene. Rainfall totals reaching up into lower inches over there. Not too much rain. Again, it's the wind and the storm surge that's been the main issue. Everything over to the west of 75 in a hurricane warning. Still tropical storm warning to the east of 75. I expect these to be continued throughout the early morning hours. That tornado watch is also consistent until 6 a.m. So again, even though the eye of the storm is passing up through north pretty quickly, still in a tornado watch as those feeder bands are going to create quick spin-ups, and we're going to be in that watch until 6 a.m. I want to talk about the rapid intensification of the storm. Thursday morning, it was a strong Category 2 at 105 mile per hour winds. Winds are up to 140 right before it makes landfall. This is textbook rapid intensification, 35 miles per hour over a 24-hour period. We've seen that in over a 12-hour period. So this is rapid intensification. Very scary situation here. Panhandle has not seen storm winds quite as bad since Michael in 2018, which made landfall as a 5. Luckily, this is only a 4, but still a life-threatening situation. Moves out of our area rather quickly, though, which is a good thing. Our campus cams see some spotty showers on our camera right now. A couple rain dots on the camera. Southeast winds, 38 miles per hour, sustained, just shy of tropical storm force winds. Gusts up to 61 miles per hour. Very nasty conditions outside. You do not want to be out in those streets right now. Hour by hour as we head into tonight, kind of right here at 11 p.m., rain chances are going to start to subside as we head into the overnight hours just because of how quickly this storm is moving. Make sure you're staying tuned on our storm app to stay informed, and overall, just stay safe. Hang in there. It's almost over.
Cedar Key Fire Rescue has suspended services in response to severe flooding and heavy winds. In a post to Facebook, Cedar Key Fire Rescue said, quote, "Things, I'm afraid, are about to get rough." Video released a few hours ago shows waves crashing onto the streets in Cedar Key. One resident is riding out the storm in the city despite mandatory evacuation notices for coastal communities.
We're looking at between 12 and possibly 20 feet of storm surge. Luckily, I'm in a house at the top of a tall hill. I think I'll be okay, but I don't know that Cedar Key as we know it will exist in the morning.
Marion County deputies say they are receiving multiple reports of trees and power lines down throughout the county. They say several crews are currently working to clear these hazards. If you see crews working, they ask that you find an alternative route. Driving during severe weather conditions can be dangerous and cause your vehicle to hydroplane. Deputies say that if you don't need to be on the roads, please stay indoors. Let's take a look at current power outages across the state as Helene makes landfall. Right now, nearly 790,000 Florida residents are without power. In Levy County, more than 67% of customers are experiencing outages. Duke Energy is seeing the most impacts from the storm, 272,000 customers without power. And just into the newsroom, Gainesville Regional Utilities is reporting more than 28,000 customers experiencing outages. Alachua County officials are offering a new promo code to help residents get to shelter if they need it. Take a look here at Alachua County's emergency shelters that are now open. Residents can access Uber ride vouchers up to $35 each way to travel to the 3 shelters in Alachua County or Grace Marketplace. Alachua County officials say ensuring people's safety is their top priority.
County staff acted quickly, our county manager acted quickly and got on the phone with Uber, set up our own program so that anyone can use those code or the code that we have through the hurricane. After the hurricane, they can get back home after the shelter.
To redeem your ride, go to the Uber app, select wallet, and add the promo code RVJ91RXGZSI. Floridians in the Big Bend region are already facing mandatory evacuations ahead of the hurricane. As Jasmine Butler reports, some evacuees are headed southwest Georgia, hoping to avoid some of the severe weather.
Wakulla County, Florida.
A little place called Lovett, Florida.
Both evacuating to the southwest Georgia area, hoping they'll avoid the hurricane impact in Florida.
We actually just cleaned up all the debris yesterday morning from the last one.
That one, Tropical Storm Debbie. Patricia Gillian owns an appliance business in Florida that she's hoping will still be intact when the hurricane passes.
We only worked a half a day yesterday, and we're going to close until we get back home, and see, how bad the damage is and if it's, not real bad.
Kaylee Wynn says she's used to the evacuation process.
We have 3 small children, and I do not want to be stuck somewhere where I can't get out.
Many in the area filled gas stations throughout the day, preparing for the night ahead. Pat McKinnon, the president and CEO of United Way in Tifton, says they anticipate power outages more than anything.
And make sure you get batteries. If you need to make sure you get your generator ready to go, because we could potentially have power outages from 2 days up to 2 weeks.
Take a look at your screen. This is a list of some of the areas currently under evacuation notices across north central Florida and the Big Bend. As the storm continues to push up out of Florida and into the rest of the southeast, residents in Asheville, North Carolina are preparing for the worst. One owner of a historic landmark in Biltmore Village is doing everything he can.
Unfortunately, we have no control over Mother Nature. All we can do is the best we can to protect, right? And then basically hope for the best.
The National Weather Service says that the massive impact Hurricane Helene will have in the area can lead to mudslides that could wash out buildings and roads. But David is confident his building will survive the storm. Here at WUFT, we want to keep all of our viewers updated, including Spanish speakers. Roche Nabel is live in the studio to give you the latest Helene updates in Spanish.
Helene está llegando a la región Big Bend de Florida. Sus vientos máximos sostenidos son de 140 millas por hora. Debido a dificultades con el código de descuento de Uber a nivel estatal, el condado de Alachua ha creado su propio código. Pasajeros con destino a refugios pueden utilizar el código escrito aquí para un viaje gratuito con un valor de hasta $35. Es importante tomar en consideración mientras los vientos de Helene se siguen intensificando. En Cedar Key, el Departamento de Bomberos ha cerrado sus operaciones debido a los vientos excesivos. Puede que no vuelvan a servicio hasta el viernes por la mañana. En vivo en el estudio, Rose Schnabel, WUFT News.
Thank you, Rose, for those updates. And Matthew, can we have one final check on the weather to see what's happening as Helene makes landfall?
Yeah, of course. Taking a look at live radar right now, the eye wall is well inland right now in Taylor County as that eye is starting to move its way inland at the top of the hour. Very scary situation right now. Lake City just saw a tornado warning. May cover that in a few, but it is important that you are hunkering down. Still under a hurricane warning to the west of 75 and to the east of 75. We are still under that tropical storm warning. It is almost over. Make sure you're hanging in there, staying safe, staying covered. Make sure you're not going outside. As we head into the early morning hours, all should be clear.
And that is our coverage for tonight, but you can continue to follow updates on Hurricane Helene on air and online at WUFT.org. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.